Hi class, we're going to take a look at a new section, and this section actually finishes all the volumes that we're required to cover in our class, and this is going to be the shell method. Now, the shell method requires the following. So you need to have a function that is bounded. Bounded means that it's going to have an actual maximum and technically a minimum value. You could have the g of x function at the bottom. Let me just rewrite it here. And this particular one, you have to be careful where you're revolving. So if you're revolving along the y-axis, this is the formula that is actually using as long as your function is bounded. And most of these are going to be on the first quadrant, but it's not technically necessary to be there. It just has to be bounded. And well, the shell method integrates over, well, shells technically. And it tends to be easier for some messy functions. You just have to be careful on where you're revolving. So along the y-axis, this is the formula that we're utilizing. And then if we're using the x-axis, this will be the formula that we're going to be evaluating. Your function represents technically the height of each of the shells, and then the x value here it's part of the radius of each of the shell. Okay, so let's take a look at example 1. So some of these problems, they're actually going to give us the region, and then we're just doing the setup, and others we're evaluating the whole thing. The shell method, it's just another tool, but some of the problems that we're actually finding, you could have done it by the disk or by the washers as well. So if it doesn't say to use a specific method, you may use whichever one you like. This is for the final exam. On the final exam, it'll just say find the volume, and then you may select the method if you can use different ones. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Now, we're revolving along the y-axis, so the actual volume, it's going to be, well, calculated by using the following setup. So if you're revolving along the y-axis, you're using the x's. So in this case, it's going to be from 0 to the square root of pi over 2. And the main function, we're going to use the 2 pi x f of x. So let me rewrite it in a different color. So this will be 2 pi x, and then technically f of x dx. And for this problem, it's just going to be from 0 to the square root of pi over 2 of 2 pi x. The function that we're using, or the function that it's given, is the sine of an x squared. So let me just rewrite it as the sine of an x squared, and this will be dx. Let me take out from the integral the 2 pi. So this is going to be the same as 2 pi integral from 0 to the square root of pi over 2 x, and this will be sine of x squared dx. Okay, so to evaluate this one, we could attempt to do a u substitution. So let u equal to x squared, du is equal to 2x dx. So the u, let me rewrite it. So the u over 2x is equal to dx. And then we'll do the limits in a minute. So this is going to be 2 pi integral, and then don't forget the limits of x sine of u, and this will be du over 2x. So the integral reduces, you can cancel the 2's, and then more importantly, you can cancel the x's. So before we continue, you're looking at an integral of pi. We'll put the limits in a minute. and this will just be the sine of u du. Remember that on the u substitution, the main idea is that you're able to reduce an integral that may be messy. In this case, we're talking about that integral into one that we recognize. And then let me actually put in the limits of integration. So for x is equal to 0, the values of u, this will be 0 squared, which is 0. So lower limit, it's 0. And x is equal to the square root of pi over 2. So u is equal to the square root of pi over 2 squared, which is just pi over 2. So upper bound, pi over 2, pi over 2. And let me rewrite the whole thing. So we're looking at pi integral from 0 to pi over 2 of sine of u du, which is just going to be pi times, in this case, we're looking at a negative cosine of u evaluated from 0 to pi over 2, which is going to give us pi times negative cosine of pi over 2, and then technically minus negative cosine of 0. So we end up with pi times 0 plus 1. So in this case, pi. And for this one, the actual volume, it's going to be equal to, well, technically pi units to the third power. That's the volume that we're obtaining by revolving along the y-axis on this particular function, which is the sine of x squared, and we're only using the actual values from 0 to the square root of pi over 2.